Hello, everyone. Welcome to Get Out of Rap TV, February the 27th. How are you all? I hope you're all well. We are going through the Decision Maker's Guide today, and there's a couple of other things to catch up on. Hope you're all good. Let's kick off, shall we, with. Oh, hold on. Probably, if your comments are not showing, I'm not ignoring you. Please just refresh LinkedIn, and then it should work. The biggest news is, and I can't say his name because he'll think we're going for a WALK, but he is back to his old self. He's much, much better, um, which is great. Now, I haven't seen anyone. Ah, there he is. Perfect timing. How do? Yes, Peter. Lovely catch up yesterday with my good old mate, Peter. Um, good morning, Danny. And Mark is here as well. Good morning. Hello, Mark. Mark is on the lookout for a new role. If you're not connected with Mark, I suggest you do. Ops. Ops expert, leadership, everything you need. Mark is your man. Yeah, so Hugo is. Oh, said his name. He's going to come in now. Oh, here she is. Here she is. And I'm sure, like me, you'll join me in saying we are so happy the super Ray Bev is now the chief client officer at Lemon. Great set of people. And what a great hire, because Bev's going to change the world as we know it. So great news, Bev. Really happy for you. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Oh, I can't see who you are. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You need to change your settings and maybe talk to our IT specialist, Danny, on how that can happen, how you need to change, and yourself. Good morning. I'm not being rude. I just can't. You might see on LinkedIn it shows up as your name, but not for me. Oh, lovely Neris. Neris is here, everyone. What a legend and font of all knowledge Neris is. Aman, hello, good morning. It is fantastic news, isn't it, about Bev? Now, let's kick off straight away. Something that came up last week that I thought, oh, this was really good. Well done, Bev. You're simply the zest. Yeah, great combination, those two, isn't it? Bev and Lemon. Lovely set of people there. Thank you, Martin, and everyone who commented. Blown away. Well, it's because we all value you so much, Raymondo. Yes, the main man from the TLC, the Team Leader Community, and up at Gravity. If you have any events that you're looking to plan, corporate team building, but with a load of fun, Jordan is your man. So, a very good person to be connected to. Um, the best news for Bev. Well, happy for her. Yes, as we all are, because she showed up every day, effing and jeffing, but with a smile on her face. So, what is your favorite board game? Let's get to know each other a little bit better. Add in the comments, what is your favorite board game? Yes, Scott's here, the man himself. Hi, Scott. Hope you are good, my friend. And Kirsty. Hello, Kirsty. Great to see you again. Clayton. Yay, Bev. It's the best damn news ever. What a great way to start the show. One of our own getting back where she belongs. So happy days. Right. Here we go. Bev's kicking us off. Scrabble. Now, I imagine you have plenty of words that don't qualify. Monopoly. Oh, yeah. I love a game of Monopoly. I also like Scrabble, just not very good at it. Please just do add who you are so I can shout you out. Sorry. Monopoly. It's like Monopoly, but where the streets have no name. Oh, that's great. Kicking us off with the first pun. That is awesome. Chess, simple, complex, and incredibly competitive. A little like me. That's true. I love a game of chess as well. I love all of these games so far. Trivial Pursuit, yes. Take me to the orange segment. Take me to the orange cheese. That's the one I want to get. Also like a green. Pink, not so much. Not so good on that one. What is your favorite segment, Peter? Yeah, I imagine with the size of your brain, you can do all of them. Dizzy Dinosaur, don't judge me. Look, I was expecting someone to say Hungry Hippos, Kirsty, so no judgment here. Yes, Kerry's here. Does Mousetrap count? Yes, it does. What a complex game that is. I love it. Have games got better or worse over time? Because Mousetrap was great. Was Martin, high rage. And that takes me back. What's up? Yahtzee. Due to childhood memories of playing in a caravan whilst it was raining in Padstow. Mark, Yahtzee brings back memories of my nana because me and her always used to play it. Alan is here. Good morning, Alan. Aman says, I think it has to be the original Monopoly. Fun, but it can be controversial. Conversational or controversial or both. I love that. A new word. Mousetrap. There's another vote for Mousetrap. Morris. And Morris, I need to catch up with you. I know we have a booking booked, but Morris is going to be doing the next GAO X, which I'm really looking forward to. Alan says Pictionary all the way for me. I love Pictionary. Danny says I really enjoy Boggle. Underrated. I remember that game. I liked that one as well. There hasn't been one so far that I don't like. Cranium. Endless silly fun. I also remember getting into Risk quite a bit. Now I'm sure Peter, you played a bit of Risk in your time. What about Buckaroo? Buckaroo reminds me of Team Leaders, actually, just weighing them down with stuff until they finally kick it off. Cranium. I don't think I know what. Can you explain that one, Scott? What is Cranium? Let me just change this quickly. But I'm loving these so far. I'm loving these. Okay. Time to move on. Remember, it's only half an hour today, this show, and I need to get to the good stuff starting from now. She's here today. We're very lucky. Neris guarantees a good webinar. So are you registering for this webinar tomorrow at 10? So hold on, let me just Kerry says, Danny Ram, I love Boggle. Took it to the Labour Ward, but forgot paper. You could just write it on the sheet. We have Blockbusters, which we love too. Oh, yes. Can I have a P, please, Bob? So this webinar, courtesy of OneCom, Neris, Colin, and Angela are going to be looking at intelligent insights, transforming contact centers with CCaaS analytics and AI. So really interesting topic. Personally, I find it a bit hard to navigate around. So I have registered. And Neris, I'm expecting for you to show me the way out of the maze. We're still on board games. I had a few role-playing games back in my nerdier days. Talisman Warhammer was very popular as a teenager. Yeah, there used to be a shop near me that was rammed all the time. Articulate. Fall out with my husband every time, says Karen. Hi, Karen. Yeah, maybe I should have changed the question to what board games cause problems. I laughed at my nana once. She's a wonderful, no longer with us, but wonderful, wonderful woman. I laughed at her answer in Trivial Pursuit, and she chased me around the room. Terrifying. Neris is having an Ed Balls moment. So Rach says OneCom webinar link. Good point. Neris, if you have it to hand, or Katie, if you're watching, if you could drop in the link, that would be great, please. I will be taking a slight diversion on the webinar to discuss F1 and rugby. It's valid. Yeah, well, happy days to discuss both. Formula One season starting. I'm halfway through the Drive to Survive on Netflix. Great show, loving it. So yeah, by all means, take as many diversions as you want, Neris. We're going to be there with popcorn. Danny Wham always makes me think of Demolition Man. Mellow greetings. What seems to be your boggle? Cranium is like a combination of a few games. Molding. Oh yes, molding clay, blindfolded drawing, acting, miming, challenges and puzzles. Literally something for everyone and a lot of fun. Oh, Joe's here. Good morning, everyone. Some familiar faces on today. Joe is probably the best right back in the contact center world and over at Sabio. Lovely, lovely man. Um, Pete Dunn reminds me of Beastie Boys. I am the king of Boggle. There is none higher. I get 11 points for the word quagmire and also bringing in Scrabble as well, Danny. And the Beastie Boys. You're winning for me today. I love the Beastie Boys. Thank you, Neris. So, Rach, that is the link. That is the link to register. It should be great. What I like about it as well, you can also ask questions in advance. So when you register, there's a section to ask questions. So, which I really, really like. So Colin, Neris, and Angela, looking forward to catching you tomorrow at 10. I'm glad Joe's here. I haven't been ignoring you, Joe. Look at this. So I can't wait for Disrupt. So Disrupt is the 5th of March, 2024. Why am I saying the year? It's in 2027. It's in the brewery in London. I know a lot of you go. I hope you are going to go again this year. I'd love to catch up with you all and see you there. It'd be great to see you in person for the first time this year. It says speaker. I'm not going to be speaking, you'll be pleased to know. I'm going to be hosting a great panel where we'll be talking about tales from the front line. Oh, sorry, Neris. Yeah, it's Thursday. I've got my days wrong. So this is the 29th and today's the 27th. So it's Thursday. It's Thursday at 10, not tomorrow. This is how you know this show's live, right? How could it not be? So back to Disrupt. This is why I needed to say the year. So as a reminder, this webinar is Thursday. This event in person at the brewery, great location in London, 5th of March. Danny is there. Awesome. It'd be good to see you, mate, again. And Neris is there. I'm there and on a panel. Not my panel, unfortunately. I did put in a big money transfer bid for you, Neris, but Joe said we'd gone past the transfer window and I couldn't have you on my panel. But I will be on a panel and it is Tales from the Front Line. So thinking about vulnerable customers, but also for our frontline team members, also known as agents. What are they putting up with? How can we best support them? And actually saying it as it is. This is what I love about Disrupt. The clue is in the name. It's always an event where I come away with a notebook full. And there are some moments where you're like, wow, did they really just say that? Which is great. I think we all need that. Great. Morris is going to be there as well. Brilliant. So there's going to be a few of us there. I hope to see you all there. Anyone interested in attending Disrupt this year can register here. I'll be abseiling onto the stage to kick off his session. Well, yes, I will, because it will be dealing with one of my fears, my main fear, which is being on top of a high building. I'm all right in planes, helicopters, whatever, but being on the top of a high building, or I suppose I'm coming down from the building. So yeah, okay, I'll abseil in. And there's the link to register. Karen says, what time? It is that for Disrupt, Karen? It goes on all day, pretty much all day. I think I'm not sure what time it starts, Joe. Maybe you can help me out here. I'll be there. I'll camp out probably. I'll be there as soon as the doors open, like a sale. And if it's this one you're referring to, Karen, 10 a.m. on Thursday. Some people thought it was Wednesday, but it's actually Thursday the 29th. I even write the date on my board behind me because I always get it wrong. That hasn't worked. Maybe I need it written on the screen. So worth it just for that, says P. Shall I do it in a Borat Mankini as well? I've just volunteered that, Peter. So yes, it is to the Disrupt event. Joe, can you just let me know, or let us all know, the times that it runs from and until? But it's the kind of event where you. Oh, here we go. Disrupt starts at 9:30 with delegates arriving from 8:30. My tent will be there, so I'm first in the queue. And Danny, thank you very much. You guys are far much more organized than me. So short show today. I am off to see Mia, who has been in Portugal on work experience for 2 weeks. So I'm missing her terribly, and I can't wait to see her. She's also probably going to get me to buy her stuff. Okay, so it is time for this. It's a read along, and we've got some absolute crackers for you. So the decision makers guide, the contact center decision makers guide. We're going to kick off with something that you're probably going to want to screenshot, and that is from all of the people that completed the survey. These are some of their averages on some key areas. So average speed to answer, call abandonment rate, first call resolution rate, call duration for service sales, call transfer rate. So how many calls are they transferring internally? And a cost of an inbound call in our industry, cost of an outbound call in our industry. And I'll give you a second to digest some of those stats. Gives me an excuse to have. There we go. That's what it's all about. So note, a few respondents may show extreme results. Data is not distributed symmetrically. Median values show the midpoint and may demonstrate the truer picture of a typical operation. If calculating an industry-wide amount, the mean average is more appropriate. So our average speed to answer based on that is 48 seconds, which is a long time. First call abandonment rate 6%. First call resolution rate. Everyone fibbing about their first call resolution rates. Yeah, 80%. Yeah, bang on. Absolutely. Yes. 20%. We're working on it. Pete Dunn, 100% or 80% if you want to go there. Can you tell us your first call resolution rate? Yeah, sure. 80%. So straight away, that one. Oh, look. Yes. You've just missed your little plug, Dan. Because you can see that strong coffee. I absolutely love it. Dan. And Dan's going to be doing a podcast with me. He's made a transition. Dan is a super legend who was a winner at the Xers with his contact center for Nespresso and has taken the leap to running all of their logistics. A big change. A wonderful example of embracing change and growth. And Dan is a lovely man. Fibbing about a few of their figures. Transfers at 5%, not a chance. Yes, it definitely was Nespresso. New order coming in probably tomorrow. Yeah, well, again, some of these numbers, transfers 5%, not a chance. Now, that is some numbers that you might want to use in future. Caveat is not a super legend. He is. Don't you worry about that. Now, let's look at call duration. So historical call duration, and you have the sort of orange line. I'm wondering if I'm colorblind. I dog walk in the same jacket. Always thought it's green, and someone told me today it's not. It's blue. Um, so sales is the orange, service is the blue, and this goes all the way back to 2004. Can you believe that? So we've got 19 years worth of data there, and this is fascinating to see. From a service point of view, we have gone from 220 seconds in 2004 to 421 at the end of 2023, with a slight drop from 2022. Definite, 2018 we're at 312 when things started to go up. You wonder how much of that is due to the pandemic that we all went through, or is it just a natural rise given automation is taking some of those simpler transactions, and what we're left with from a call point of view are the more complex cases, and this is manifested here. Um, Sales line bit more erratic, although a big drop from 2022. 478 seconds for the average call duration of a sales call. Uh, Danny's a pun machine. Sounds like you've been busy, Dan. um, does this reflect what you're seeing? Does this reflect what you see in your own center, or see from elsewhere, or just from being a customer when you're contacting people? Is it because you're contacting them about more complex stuff? Um, Neris says the ACHT of sales being higher than service makes me so confused when the delta between cost for inbound versus cost for outbound is so different. Outbound is much cheaper. With comp plans, most salespeople have higher wages. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, really good point. And just as a quick reminder, cost of an inbound call, £4.18. Cost of an outbound call, £3. So really good point, Neris. It is slightly confusing. According to LinkedIn, says Nanny, it's Gen Z being lazy, entitled moaners, and nothing at all to do with the complexity of the role today versus 2004. Bloody Gen Zenners lying in bed moaning. Yeah, you're right. I think we can look at this and say, there you go. There is the evidence of our contacts, our customer contacts, becoming more complex. And we need to think about the load that has on our team members, and that will be one of the things that we'll be talking about at Disrupt. So you can say we're asking more of people. You're on a longer call. It's interesting because I can remember from an agent that kind of, I could power down a little bit with the more transactional customer contacts, and then power up when a more complex one came through. So we've kind of taken that away, rightly so, I guess, in terms of the improvements we're seeing. But that is interesting. Okay, here's one of our favorites. Here is one of our favorites. The speed to answer and call abandonment rate. So the blue bars are the average speed to answer, and the orange line is the call abandonment rate. So you can see again from 2004, we were on it. Bosh, 16 seconds. We were picking up the phone before you'd even had a chance to connect. Now we are up to 116 seconds to answer. And you may have seen my video on LinkedIn off the back of the last one that we did, where I think this is the single area where we could make the most impact on customer satisfaction scores, that they will be vastly improved if we get to people quicker. Because from 2019, so 2019 40 seconds, 2020 we jumped to 82. And you would think that is the adoption of the technology that allowed us to have all of our workforce at home and all of those kind of considerations, but it's continued to go up. It's continued to go up. Why do we think that is? Because it doesn't make any sense. I'm reliant on you guys. We might take 2 minutes to answer, but we hardly ever transfer you around. Well, in 5% of the time we will. 80% of the time we're going to deal with this first time. Yeah, I love that, Danny. You're on form. So, what do we think? Why is it taking us longer to get to the call? Much, much longer. Less people, um, more volume. Are we just not planning as well as we used to? Or is it intentional that we have so many systems whirring away in the background that we are trying to route people through some more self-service options, and actually it's kind of we're filtering them out, so those people that do come through have had to wait longer because they've exhausted all other options. I don't know. I do what I do know is this is being reflected in customer satisfaction responses and metrics, and we've all seen the headlines, right, that they're lower than they've ever been. Where are we on this? What do we think? Is it going to, because it has dropped from 2022 to 2023, it has dropped slightly, 4 seconds. Will it continue to drop? Is this just a spike, or is it going to level off? What do you think? Is it going to keep going up? Surely it can't. Surely it can't, because that is a long time, and that's the average. So we wait. If I just sat here in silence for 116 seconds, you'd notice, right? You'd get annoyed and leave. Or maybe you'd be happy. Peter, less people, higher volumes of complex interactions, more demands on frontline teams, more tech, KPIs, oversight demanding more from the interactions. Yeah, so true. Danny says there was a step change in automation self-serve in 2019 when products became more readily, cheaply available to more contact centers. So you have a double bubble of more I read that really badly. A double bubble of more complex queries and people that struggled with the new, often in unsuitable self-serve options in 2020. Very astute, as were you, Peter. Neris says lots of reasons. Proliferation of channels with a lack of elegance in managing them. What a great sentence. Businesses care less about these stats. Brutal but true. Budgets are leaving centers very tight, so resources aren't there. There's not enough tangible evidence of negative impact of these stats. Wow. Wowzers. I love that, Neris. I don't love it, but I love how you've worded it. Neris Crawford said it much better than my attempt. No, come on. Less investment in people, both in terms of volume and skill, says Alan, who's very people centric. Aman says lots of reasons. Call handlers are dealing with more and more complex calls, so need some time in between these calls. So we're taking their time before taking the next call. Nice consideration, that, Aman. Thank you. Now, talking of the call handlers, let's see what they're up to. So this is agent activity. They are spending 50, and again, this is the culmination of the responses. They're spending 51.8% of their time in talk. They're talking. They're in wrap, post call wrap up, get out of wrap for 12% of the time. They are on email web chat for 13.6% of the time. They're idle for 8%. Admin paperwork 4.7%, training 6%, and other 3.9%. What other industry can you get this level of data? Maybe in sport, perhaps, but look at that. A bank told me it was not a concern now. Wow. Getting to the customers quickly. Thanks, Morris, for sharing that. Getting to the customers quickly is not a concern. We are shooting ourselves in the foot in terms of perception of our industry. But what do you think about this? This will be the last slide. So I would welcome your comments. It feels like a whistle stop episode today, but we've still had fun. I have. So they're talking 51.8% of the time. They're wrapping up their calls for 12%. Certainly for my time in ops, I would say that was high, but it probably wasn't as complex then as it is now. Email web chat feels low at 13.6%. Idle 8% of the time. Admin and paperwork. I've said this before, but I hate idle. Tech vendors need to change this hard-coded term in the ACD to breathing space. Yeah, or just existing. Again, something that's so different in our industry, isn't it? You've been idle too long, huh? You imagine saying that in retail or something like that. You were stood doing nothing then for 3 seconds. Sorry. Slide feels too much of a roundup to the point it's not helpful as insight. A single advisor is unlikely to have a spread of work in those areas. Interesting, Danny. Yeah, nice. I think over the next coming slides, which we'll have to do next week, we will go into a bit more detail. AI will change this usage dramatically, I think. Oh, yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? To see what we think AI will do to this slide. Yes, Morris, really interesting. Why, as an industry, do we target 85% occupancy to prevent burnout, then vilify the 15% by referring to it as idle time? Yes, Scott is with Neris on this one. We need to change the terminology. Words matter, language matters. These words kind of become part of our culture and subconscious, don't they? And we can give certainly new leaders some bum steers with how they should manage this part of somebody's working day. So yeah, I love it, Scott. Really, really good point. So in this truncated episode, I would just like to thank my partners, Evaluagent, DDC, and OneCom. Without them, I wouldn't be able to bring you this show. There's probably space up there for 2 more. Just saying. I've got to live. So thank you. Idle isn't a great score in Scrabble. Can we base all of our terminology on what it scores in Scrabble, and just go completely left field? So thank you all for joining me. I know it feels quick, but family's important. So I hope to see you on Thursday, not Wednesday. Thursday at the Neris's webinar, and also then at Disrupt. But before that, is it next Tuesday? When is next Tuesday? Oh, next Tuesday is Disrupt. So there won't be a show next Tuesday. I will be at Disrupt. So it will be the following week that this show will be back on. But if you're at Disrupt, please do come over and say hello, and we can talk all things Scrabble. Easily added on for bridal sidle. Sidle over for my bridal. Don't be idle. Okay, thank you all very much. It's been really good to share some time with you. I hope you have a rest of the week, and let's keep enjoying ourselves, looking after our people, and having fun. And I will, for those of you going to Disrupt, I will see you all next Tuesday. For those not going, I will see you the following Tuesday here on LinkedIn. Thank you, everyone.